aromatic adventure.
We got the birds, we got the sounds of summer. It's a beautiful summer day. Let's talk about Yankee Candle summertime fragrances. For 2018, the European UK crowd got their own exclusive summer collection called Just Go. Great name. This collection consisted of 4 fragrances: Warm Desert Wind, Coconut Splash, Tropical Jungle, and Misty Mountains. Even though I'm here in the US and I can't technically purchase them at my local Yankee Candle retail store, I still have them and I want to share my thoughts, my evaluations. First candle I'd like to talk about today is going to be this one right here, if I can find it. It's called Misty Mountains. Misty Mountains. Take a close look at that label. Now, at first glance, this looks like it could be, you know, the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee and North Carolina, but under closer inspection, there seems to be the coast in the horizon. Perhaps we're on some remote island, maybe we're in some far away land, who knows, but there's one thing that is for sure. There are mountains and it certainly is misty, but the main question is, what does it smell like? There is truly only one way to find out, so let's do it. Let's break it open and give it a sniff. So right off the bat, there is a lot of candy-esque notes coming through. It's not necessarily what you would expect. It does throw you off guard a little bit, because jumping into a candle called Misty Mountains, probably one thing you're not expecting is to smell candy. But I know this smell. I know how Yankee Candle defines this aroma. They call it effervescent citrus. And although effervescent citrus isn't in Yankee Candle's fragrance notes for Misty Mountains, I know this smell. It does smell like citrus. It smells like mandarin orange. But it has a candy side too, because it's very sweet. So, not making fun of this candle, but when you smell this, you might smell things like Smarties candies, Sweet Tart candies, Spree candies. And this is one I really have to mention. And if you don't believe me, pick this candle up off the shelf if you have it. Smell it and tell me you don't get pineapple soda. Which does kind of make sense, because pineapple soda is effervescent and has bubbles. But it's that citrus that is going to create that clean, crisp air of the mountains. So it sets you a little bit off course. But in the end, it does make sense. That brightness of the citrus creates that feeling of clean, fresh air. But let's continue. Underneath all of that brightness, there is warmth. Soothing vanilla, coconut, and amber. And those 3 qualities are going to add a richness, a creaminess, and a cleanliness to this candle. There's a little bit of that bath and body. I feel like this is a day at the spa. I feel like this has some laundry room action as well. More or less, what I'm trying to say is, when I smell this, inside here somewhere, there's a cashmere sweater. You follow me? There's that laundered, fresh, clean, cotton, warm blanket. You know how Yankee Candle defines those aromas, and that's what's happening here. And to add to that clean factor and to kind of complement those fruity notes, we have lavender. Lavender is in everything that is bath and body, and in is in reference to the laundry room. But one thing I really want to mention is that if you look at most contemporary men's cologne, they're going to be formulated with 2 ingredients, many ingredients, but 2 of those ingredients in some capacity is going to be citrus and lavender. I'm not saying this smells like Axe body spray, but if you go and you smell all of the different scents of Axe body spray, at some capacity, you will smell citrus and lavender on 99% of those fragrances. We'll talk a little bit more about this men's cologne thing in just a second. With a name like Misty Mountains, we need something to center this candle outdoors in the great wide open. We need something that's going to be earthy or woody or herbaceous. And in this case, we have all three. We have this sun-dried cedar, spruce needle, and pine cone action. You know, that sun's coming down onto the forest floor and it's dehydrating the blue spruce needles. If you've never had a chance to take some blue spruce, take the needles, rub it up against your fingers just like this, and then smell your hands. That doesn't smell like a traditional Christmas tree pine tree, not at all. In fact, this does remind me more of summertime, camping out in the wilderness. And same thing with the pine cones. Grab some pine cones off the ground, squish them in your hands, and give them a smell. You'll smell that really sweet, resinous sap that is all over these pine cones, and now, sadly, all over my hands. I had gloves, I just forgot to put them on. Let's continue. We have additional herbal notes of tobacco leaf, clary sage, oak moss, and patchouli in here, all of which add to that forest floor element to this candle. We feel like we can smell the earth underneath us as we're strolling in these misty mountains. And there's a little bit of this mintiness here, which is kind of adding to this misty quality, this kind of ominous mist in the air. It gives us that cooling sensation, but with that sweetness that I was talking about before, and that mintiness, it's giving us a little bit of that double mint gum. Double your pleasure, double your fun. Now, I said earthiness, and this is a great example of vetiver. And if anyone's unfamiliar with vetiver, it's a tropical grass, but it smells really earthy. It smells like you just went out in your backyard and you ripped up a weed out of the grass or a turnip out of the garden, and you're smelling the root system. It just has that soil-rich smell. And vetiver is used in countless, I'm telling you, countless amounts of classic traditional masculine men's cologne. The ones that are really on the masculine side. Not so much in contemporary colognes, but more of like old school colognes. So with the mixture of this cologne masculine thing with that earthiness, this introduces a little bit of the brawny man into the equation. Or at least the fragrance that the brawny man would be wearing. So the way I see it, this candle is a striking combination of old school and contemporary style men's colognes, but also with the addition of those familiar smells of the spa, the laundry room, but mainly the great outdoors. We have, again, the pine cone, the spruce, the cedar, so we do have that sense of being outside, but really, this is evoking that feeling of candles like comfy blanket or clean cotton, or more recently, is reminding me a whole lot of warm luxe cashmere. So the fact that this is a UK European candle or exclusive, they didn't get warm luxe cashmere. They got warm cashmere, but not warm luxe cashmere. So this is a great way for you folks abroad to get warm luxe cashmere if you were interested. It does have a lot of similarities. It smells like that freshly laundered cashmere sweater that perhaps has been hanging out for a couple days outside in the Misty Mountains. This to me is a very relevant fragrance. I think it's going to have a rather large impact for those who enjoy candles that have that hint, that suggestion of men's cologne. A lot of liberties taken here, but I think more or less this is a poetic example of the Misty Mountains rather than a literal expression, although there are some very literal fragrances in here of being in the mountains. Yankee Candle's Misty Mountains, a part of the Let It Go collection for 2018. Now, I don't normally share Yankee Candle's description or fragrance notes, but recently I have been, and I'm enjoying it, because this way we have a frame of reference of what I say versus what Yankee Candle describes their own product with. So, Yankee Candle describes Misty Mountain as like an endless vista of pine-clad mountains cloaked in cool, silent mist. I like the way that's written. That's very poetic, and I'm not being facetious. Fragrance notes of pine, spearmint, so maybe Wrigley spearmint gum, not double mint gum. Mid notes of lavender, and bottom notes of patchouli, vetiver, and cedar. So there's Yankees, and you saw mine. Have you burned this candle? Have you smelled this candle? If you haven't, would you like to get this candle based on my description and Yankee Candle's description? All of that, please leave that in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you do so. I got you covered for the rest of the year. All of autumn, all of Halloween, and Christmas. So much more Yankee Candle content to come. Thank you for watching, and make sure you check out the other counterpart fragrances of this Just Go collection in my uploads. They'll be also linked up in the description below. Like I said, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon, but until then, be good.